KK Reaper.
And I'm Luna Reaper.
And this is A Frightful Eve. Happy Valentine's Day, Ghosts and Ghouls. This evening, we will be reviewing Lisa Frankenstein, about a misunderstood teenager and a reanimated corpse who embark on a murderous journey to find love, happiness, and a few missing body parts.
But first, the horror news.
If you were a fan of the 2022 box office hit Barbarian, there may be reason for even more excitement and intrigue. Diversion 3 Entertainment, the studio behind the Friday the 13th and Evil Dead games, is leading development on an adaptation of Barbarian in partnership with New Regency Pictures. In a statement to Bloody Disgusting, Tim Hesse, executive producer of the company, said the game will, quote, expand on the settings, characters, and creatures of the hit movie. Considering the amount of moving parts and storylines the film unveiled, one can only imagine a deeper dive into the video game treatment will be much more enthralling than some horror game adaptations as of late.
Vampire Diaries' Paul Wesley will be co-starring alongside Jackie Cruz in the upcoming film History of Evil. Allegra Rodriguez is an activist in a war-ridden country. While successfully escaping prison, she reunites with her husband and daughter to flee for cover in an abandoned farmhouse. With the illusion of safety in this quaint home, our family will soon find out that every place and time has a dark past. Available February 23rd on Shudder.
A new horror-themed metal act is on the rise. Hailing all the way from Sweden, Crimson Vial is a four-piece gothic theatrical band with Liam on vocals, Jojo on guitar, Arvid on bass, and Kevin on drums. Founded in 2022, the group creates an eerie, almost vampiric atmosphere between their music and showsmanship. The band shows a lot of promise through their creative talents both visually and sonically, and will be worth keeping your eyes and ears open for. Their latest single, All in Vain, along with an accompanying music video, is available to watch and stream now.
Destroy All Neighbors is a horror comedy about a rocker named William Brown who killed Vlad, his neighbor from hell. While struggling to make his musical dream a reality, Will's world is turned upside down by ghastly ghouls from his past. This campy flick is full of puppetry and practical effects that will get a laugh out of the best horror fanatics. Available on Shudder and AMC.
Last year, Goosebumps reared its ugly head for an all-new season of Thrills and Chills. Disney Plus has now announced that they have greenlit Season 2 of everyone's favorite horror series adaptation. This season will run for 8 episodes and is getting the anthology treatment, so we will be seeing a whole new cast of characters and new setting. All, of course, still based around R.L. Stein's iconic Scholastic book series. More on this as news develops.
Blumhouse will be filming their own rendition of the Danish film Speak No Evil. A young couple is eager to visit their new friends for a vacation in the countryside. Without giving too much away, this film is a great way to show the importance of knowing when to say no. However, with viewers expressing a frustrating ending, will there be some adjustments to the 2024's version? We'll find out September 13th.
For more information on these events, check out the links in the description below.
And now for the review of Lisa Frankenstein. What a treat this movie was.
I would have to agree with you.
I think Lisa Frankenstein just came at the right time in our lives, which I never even thought it was so appropriate for Valentine's Day until now. How cute, how camp.
Oh yeah.
Loved it.
Instant cult classic for sure. Some may not agree.
But that's because they have bad taste.
Right.
And don't like fun, nice things.
Yeah.
And drink milk on its own, you know. It's not our fault.
and drink milk all on its own. Is that what you said?
Yeah. That's what they probably
That is pretty gross. I can't deny.
We're going to get so many people being like,
What do you mean? I'm sorry. I don't know why.
That's your own personal flaw. But for the plot of Lisa Frankenstein, I think a lot of people didn't realize either. I think most people's disappointment must have come from not seeing the trailer, because the trailer was adorable and laid it enough out to where, quirky, misunderstood girl, struggling her ways through the trials and tribulations of adolescence when your mom gets murdered.
Yeah.
Just girly things. And she has a suitor that is following her who just happens to have been dead a day or two ago.
Wait, dead a day or two ago?
Well, a day or two ago, he was dead, and now he is not. He was dead for a long time.
Oh, right, yes, yeah.
I'll rephrase that. He was dead for a long time, and then one day he got struck by a green bolt of lightning, and is awake.
It was ball lightning.
Ball lightning.
The mysterious. The dad says something about it being green ball lightning, and ball lightning, for those who don't know, Wikipedia it, is a. I'm sorry, I don't mean to mansplain. It's
on Valentine's Day, no less.
Right, I know. I'm terrible. Sorry. I'm gay. It's passable. The ball lightning is supposedly an anomaly that, because it happens so quickly, it's like either you've seen it or you haven't, so there's no real evidence of it happening.
Right.
Which is just like a quirky little add in there, but yeah, that's what brings this gentleman back to life.
That's fantastic. Which I believe is also what killed him in the beginning. There was a type of accident. It was a storm. Remember in the beginning credits, there was a storm, and something either fell on him or struck him.
Oh, was that how he
I believe so.
Oh. I didn't really notice. I know because the introduction of that entire story is the opening credits with the cartoon animation, right? Like just the silhouettes. Yeah. I wasn't paying close enough attention to like exactly what killed him, but probably.
No, we were probably getting settled in the theater while all that's kind of rolling. You're getting in the zone.
Popcorn, soda, all that jazz.
We do it right here up in Frightful Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this movie looked so good. I thought the clothes were everything.
Yeah.
I know sometimes with especially 80s films, like I know there's some people that dress plain, some people want the neon route. I do think modern takes on 80s aesthetics can get so costumey.
Yes.
And this looked great.
It had a certain level of, theatrical costume wear, but it didn't take away from the fact that you knew it was 1989.
Yeah.
It wasn't overbearing in any which way. I think part of what made this such a cult film, or feel like such a cult film, was that attention to detail and that almost like decadence of the era, because 80s was very decadent anyway. So all the costume design, all the suburban households, all the decor.
Tanning bed in the shed.
Right, yeah. The color palette was exactly the way that it needed to be.
Lisa's transformation was amazing. Everything she wore, I'm like, I want it.
Yeah.
I want that.
Yeah.
I need that.
Yeah, they did a phenomenal job capturing all of that. It felt like, it was great in the sense of how original it was, because there wasn't any, there's a lot of movies that we've watched that I've been like, oh, it's like this crossed with this, where this felt like it drew from so many different elements to make it its own, that, you had a little bit of like Beetlejuice, Rocky Horror, Heathers, like all these different culmination of things going on, all drizzled over the top of the satire of Frankenstein.
Very Heathers.
Yeah.
The, Bonnie and Clyde duo.
Right, exactly, yep. But yeah, they no pun intended, killed it as far as their relationship goes, and the progression of that storyline where, instead of it being that she just standard digs up a body, makes herself a man.
Yeah.
Like the fact that he needed the body parts and he's like really determined to get them.
Yeah.
And he makes the first move anyway with with killing
her stepmom.
Her stepmom, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that mom was so good at just making me mad, because we all know that one person's like, I'm an empath and it's very hard to be this,
right,
psychologically aware more than anyone else. Just so classic.
And listening to the tapes and like just reaffirming that for herself.
Energy vampires.
Right.
Sense your, kindness.
There was a point, and it just speaks again to the attention to detail, but when she's listening to that tape and the monster is walking over to her peaches and cream or whatever and spits up the worm.
Yeah.
When she's talking to the salesman.
The carpet wash guy.
Yeah, and he's like trying to picture the carpet cleaner, and she's like, you could eat off of my carpet. And he was like, is that an invitation? And she's like, excuse me? That just little jokes like that, and the quirky comedy of Lisa with, just throughout her entire progression becoming the, bad SOB that she becomes.
Yes. And I love the stepsister. It's one of those where it's like, oh, I get it, the mean stepsister, but she's wonderful.
I thought she was going to be framed as...
Of course.
Like, she's so nice that it's, like, kind of...
backhanded.
Right, yeah.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't, yeah.
Lovely.
She was genuinely, like, a nice person.
Sorry for killing your mom.
Did him a favor.
Yeah, now she's stuck with this dad that just seems to not be fazed by anything.
He is completely aloof in every facet of this entire movie.
Oh my gosh. I did think this was great in being a creature feature and just a coming of age film. Like, you could take away the undead Frankenstein bit and just have just like the teen movie, and it's Heathers.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
That's really cool. In its most original form. I should paraphrase it, like, I don't mean that in a whole, like, oh, they copied Heathers. Not like that.
Well, that's, exactly what I was saying before. Just it's not like when we talked about Thanksgiving, we said, like, oh, Scream meets Texas Chainsaw, because it's very apparent that those elements are there. We talk about this movie in relation to, like, Heathers or Beetlejuice, anything like that. It is strictly making it its own.
Right.
It's not, and it recognizes that too, which is great with the Damn It Janet.
I know.
And things like that. Like, they knew their audience.
That's what I was hoping for. Like, sometimes I do wonder, be like, did you do that on purpose? I'm like, no, they had to. Like, these are the people that go see those things.
Yeah.
And make these movies.
Right.
Very nice.
Absolutely. And the artistic direction of a lot of the sequences, beyond just the neon and obviously 80s drenched themes, but that whole opening sequence when she's hallucinating and she sees
I love it.
The moon with the ship in the eye, that, one of the first films, and it's all black and white. She wakes up with the tall hair like Bride of Frankenstein.
Her costume looks great. Just like, I love when they make everything move, like the dolls moving, the axe serial killer coming out from under the bed.
Right, and holding her legs.
Statue, man. It's just so good.
Yeah. That every element about that was really well done. And, of course, when we go into these things, we try to be as critical as we possibly can, because we don't want to just throw any high rating at a film. But I was watching that and thinking, this could derail, or they could try to go too edgy or too avant-garde or something along those lines. And every time that I thought we were headed that direction, it somehow just it seamlessly transitioned from each piece of that.
Yes, and if we're gonna get it technical, the reason I like this movie so much was, obviously this is everything I love, but for most of my complaints throughout the horror genre, this had none of those. Every scene had a purpose towards the story. Every scene progressed together. And it made sense. It was cohesive. There was nothing unnecessary. Like, everything had a point. And I think that's a common thing right now in modern horror, is that there are scenes or moments that it's just like, what was the point of this? Where this is the first movie in a while that I was like, oh, it's over.
KK and Luna Reaper.
What, Bartholomew?
What is the final verdict?
Lisa Frankenstein simply understood exactly the audience it was trying to capture. With its colorful palette, pop culture references, and amazing soundtrack, it successfully works its way to cult status.
Though we here at A Frightful Eve may be a bit biased, we are suckers for campy horror. Lisa Frankenstein hits all the marks in just the right way with this retro, coming-of-age take on the Mary Shelley classic, and for that, we give this film a 10 out of 10.
That's our show. Thanks for tuning in.
And until next time, Ghosts and Ghouls, have a frightful eve.